So one of my favorite testimonies from this last year, we have a church in Uganda, and it's Ugandans and South Sudanese. So we do it in English, and a lot of our village parishioners, they don't understand English, and we've really been struggling to find an interpreter. We have one now, but at this time of this testimony, we didn't have one. And so our pastor was preaching on how light the burden is to Jesus when it seems so heavy to us. And he gave everybody in the church a little teeny grain of sand. And so there was a guy sitting in the church who was a Ugandan and didn't understand English. And so we had an altar call at the end saying, if you have a burden, it's very light to him, just bring it to him. And so many people came up to the altar, and he was one of them. So we prayed for everybody not knowing their needs. Well, the next Sunday, he came back to church, and he gave a testimony. And he said, when I didn't understand anything that was being preached at church, but then there was calling people up for prayer. And so I asked my friend, why are they going up there? And so then he told me about giving our burdens to Jesus, that it's light as a grain of sand. So he said, I went up because I have a daughter who is 15, and I've spent all my money on doctors trying to get her healed, and they're saying, just take her home, she's going to die, there's nothing more we can do. And he said, I didn't know what else to do. And so I came to church, and when they said, come up and give your burdens, he said, that's what I came up for. And nobody knew what I was praying for, and you prayed for me. And during the course of the week, my daughter started to get better, and I didn't know what was going on, and I took her back to the doctors, and there was nothing wrong with her, and she was completely healed. And so when he stood in front of the church to give his testimony, he said, this is the kind of God that I want to follow. This is the kind of God that I've been looking for. And it really brought to me the scripture in Romans chapter 10, where it's really from Isaiah. He says, I was found by those who did not seek me, and I was made manifest to those who did not ask for me. And so it's really an encouragement to us, because we were always so frustrated that half of our people aren't understanding the message that is coming forth every Sunday. But God can speak to anyone, and he'll do what he wants to do. And so for us not to be worried that people aren't understanding, that the message comes from the Lord himself. So that was really encouraging to us. We now have an interpreter, and there's more and more people coming. And he was a man from another faith. And so that Sunday he got on his knees and said, I want to give my life to Jesus Christ.